Billionaire Liu Xuan is a man who thinks everything has a price until he meets Shan, a mermaid assassin sent to kill him for poisoning her home. But the mission goes catastrophically wrong when she falls for the man she's supposed to murder. As Shan struggles between duty and desire, Liu discovers a world he never believed existed, and a conspiracy far more sinister than corporate greed. Caught between a vengeful ex-lover weaponizing science, an ancient species fighting extinction, and a love that could save or doom them both, Liu must choose his empire or the one being who saw past his fortune to the starving boy beneath. If you love wild fantasy romances mixed with crazy action, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And comment below, if the person sent to kill you fell in love with you, would you trust them? A real estate tycoon, Liu Xuan purchases Green Gulf, a coastal wildlife reserve, for 20.8 billion Hong Kong dollars, planning a massive land reclamation project. To clear the area of sea life, he deploys sonar technology. What he doesn't know is that Green Gulf is home to a hidden civilization of merfolk, and his sonar is killing them. That night, elite guests from the auction gather at Liu's mansion to celebrate. Inside the living room, Liu and his rich partners discuss his just-acquired deal. One of them, Chung, skeptical about the island's profitability, questions Liu's judgment in real estate. But Liu is positive it'll be profitable. The others admit they also invested in the island and are anxious about the future. Liu reassures them, claiming the right reconstruction will yield massive profits. But Chung remains unconvinced. He points out that the island is a protected reserve and a dolphin migration zone, making development illegal. Another businessman counters that the information is outdated, insisting the dolphins are gone. He produces an environmental clearance document, which Liu's bodyguard inspects. Still, Chung refuses to accept it. He calls the entire plan fraudulent and announces his exit. As Chung straps in his cutting-edge jetpack, Liu urges Chung to not leave, but he refuses. Liu ignores his outburst and opens a bottle of wine. The cork shoots out and strikes the jetpack's control switch. In an instant, Chung rockets into the air. The device malfunctions and sends him spinning wildly around the mansion. Guards rush in to help, but the situation turns chaotic. Liu remains calm throughout and asks them to open the door so he can fly out. Right after, they head to the party. Moments later, Ruolan, Liu's business partner and ex-lover, approaches him where he is lounging and surrounded by young women. Without warning, she throws her watch into the pool. She announces that whoever retrieves it can keep it. The women hesitate at first, but the moment they realize the watch's value, they plunge straight into the water, scampering for it. She wants to prove to Liu that the women flocking around him are there for the money. Liu acknowledges he's aware that everyone around him has motives, and he doesn't feel bad about it. Ruolan quickly shifts to business. She proposes a partnership, and Liu listens as she outlines her plan. He would provide land and permits. She would bring premium brands. Liu agrees that merging resources increases value. They agree on profit percentage and seal the deal with a kiss. The moment is interrupted when a disheveled girl suddenly appears and insists on speaking with Liu. Security stops her before she gets too close. She introduces herself as Shan and gives Liu her number to call before being escorted away. Ruolan is livid that Liu gives the strange girl an audience instead of having her arrested and punished. She leaves the party in anger. Outside, Shan heads into town on a skateboard. She buys medical and food supplies, then heads home at a secluded cabin near the sea. Inside, she opens a hidden floor hatch and descends into an underground passage. Shan is a mermaid. The sonar technology Liu uses to drive sea life out of Green Gulf has caused many of them to die or fall ill. The few survivors now live in an abandoned shipwreck in the Gulf and seek revenge for his actions. They send Shan, the most beautiful of the young mermaids, who's been trained to walk on her fins and blend in among humans, to seduce Liu and kill him, knowing his weakness for women. Elsewhere, Liu and Ruolan attend a proposal meeting for the Green Gulf project. The presenters explain that a transmitter has been deployed in the surrounding waters. Since activation, dolphin activity has vanished, clearing the way for development. To demonstrate, they activate the sonar device near a fish tank. The fish is distressed, and just a few moments later, it explodes. However, the presenter adds that the device had also detected strange, unidentified frequencies linked to species they could not classify. Ruolan jokes that it might be aliens, but Liu laughs it off. Back in the mer world, the old mermaid begin recounting their history, how land primates had once evolved to survive in the ocean and lived alongside humans for centuries, until they were hunted and driven into hiding. When Liu finally calls Sean, the merfolk celebrate, believing he'll walk into their trap. However, only 3 bodyguards arrive. Thinking quickly, Shaq slips through a nearby bush and hands Sean a bag containing disguised tools meant to kill Liu. Sean tells the guards he is her uncle. He warns her to handle it carefully and return safely. She silently climbs into the car. They arrive at Liu's office building. Sean sits at a table as an assistant places 2 glasses of lemon zest water in front of her. She pulls both glasses closer and discreetly poisons one, planning to switch them, but the sudden arrival of the head of security forces her to mix them up. Shan undergoes a thorough security check that nearly exposes her, yet she narrowly avoids suspicion. After the tense inspection, the guard suggests they drink the water. The guard gets the poisoned glass and collapses moments later, foaming at the mouth. She quickly pours liquor into his mouth to neutralize the poison, but when he gulps the remaining water, he begins foaming again. Amid the chaos, Shan slips away and sneaks toward Leo's office, preparing to strike. She hides and launches a surprise attack, but every move backfires. Each throw, lunge, and stab fails. Poisoned and weakened, she crawls beneath the couch. Meanwhile, Liu dances to cheerful music, completely unaware of her presence. Before she can attack again, Liu swings a golf club and accidentally knocks her to the ground. Enraged, Liu demands to know why she is there. Sean reminds him that he invited her earlier. Turns out that Liu had argued with Ruolan and called Sean in her presence to provoke jealousy and Bear. Assuming Sean is after money like everyone else, Liu offers her some bundles of cash to leave. She refuses. He doubles the amount, but she still says no. Confused, Liu assumes she is simply asking for more. Refusing to increase the offer, he points out that Sean has not given him anything in return. This angers her, and she insists she does not want his money, that not everything is about wealth. They argue as Liu steps closer, gripping her face and declaring her innocent and beautiful in a corrupt world. Ruolan walks in with her friend and witnesses the moment, leaving her deeply jealous. Shan finally agrees to leave if Liu will personally drop her off, which he reluctantly does. As they pass a nearby park, Sean points out a food stall and says it sells her favorite roast chicken, persuading him to stop. The moment she steps out, Liu drives away and abandons her, but curiosity draws him back. Sean shows him the roasted chickens, inviting him to join her. They eat together. The taste reminds Liu of his impoverished childhood. He breaks down, explaining how he vowed to never starve again. They bond over the shared moment. Liu asks her why she doesn't care about money. She replies that wealth means nothing if air and water no longer exist. Her words strike him deeply. He writes her a check for 1 million Hong Kong dollars before leaving, which Sean immediately throws into the fire, leaving him shocked. She tells him she does not want his money. She just admires him. To lighten the mood, she offers to sing. Liu joins in, experiencing a joy he has not felt in a long time. She later pulls him onto an amusement ride, and despite his hesitation, he ends up enjoying it. The night unfolds gently as Liu walks her home. When they reach the cabin, Sean invites him inside. Before entering, she asks what he would do if he had only 1 minute left to live. Liu answers that simply looking at her would be enough. Sean pulls off her top for him. Liu tells her he loves her. The words stop her cold. She pulls up her top, steps inside, and bangs the door in his face. Once alone, the merfolk reprimand Shan for failing her mission. Exhausted and dehydrated, she dives into the water. Later, Liu calls and invites her to dinner, which they see as another opportunity. At an upscale restaurant, Shaq disguises as a chef. He has tagged along to finish the job himself. The plan quickly collapses when the kitchen staff mistake his tentacles for a real octopus and begin slicing and milling his tentacles, forcing him to flee. Shan hastily explains that her uncle is a magician. Alone with Sean, Liu reveals that he knows she is not human. Thinking her cover is blown, she reaches for her weapon, but actually means that he believes she is an angel. He then proposes to her. Sean is stunned and reminds him they barely know each other. Liu insists he sees something genuine in her. Unlike everyone else, she does not want his money. Despite having everything, he feels completely alone, and only Sean makes him feel understood. Moved, Sean finally tells him the truth. She admits she was sent to kill him. Instead of reacting with fear, Liu leans in and kisses her. Sean panics and runs away. Moments later, Rulan storms in and confronts Liu, berating him for kissing a woman she considers beneath him. She declares their business deal canceled, convinced he has feelings for Shan. Already fed up, Liu tells her to do as she pleases and walks out. Back in the mer world, Shaq tends to his injuries, aware of a larger problem. Shan has fallen for Liu. She denies it, but eventually admits she cannot bring herself to kill him. Just then, someone knocks at the door. Assuming it is one of their own, Shan opens it without thinking. Liu stands there, stunned by the half-man, half-octopus being. Before he can react, they abduct him and knock him unconscious. When Liu regains consciousness, he is bound on a boat. Shaq confronts him, blaming him for the merfolk who died from the sonar waves, and declares that Liu must be executed. Another merman raises a hammer, ready to strike. Liu quickly states that if he dies, the sonar system won't be shut down. The merman hesitates, realizing the logic. Shaq lunges anyway, wrapping a tentacle around Liu's neck and strangling him. Shan, who has been hiding, rushes forward and cuts the tentacle, freeing Liu and urging him to run. Liu escapes and goes straight to the police, reporting everything he has witnessed. His story is met with laughter as they find it really strange. He leaves feeling defeated and foolish. Meanwhile, the merfolk, devastated by their losses, resign themselves to waiting for death. Overcome with guilt, Shan tries to kill herself, but the old mermaid stops her. Elsewhere, Liu is alone with Ruolan, who is more interested in seducing him. Liu's thoughts, however, are consumed by Shan and the marine life being destroyed by the sonar. He pulls away from Ruolan and rushes to the research facility to test the sonar on himself. The scientists warn him of the danger, but agree to proceed. When the sonar activates, the effect is immediate. Within seconds, Liu is screaming for it to be shut down. The lead scientist explains this is only level 1 out of 10. Horrified, Liu orders the system shut down. The investors refuse, until Ruolan intervenes and instructs them to comply. Liu thanks her for supporting him. Liu reveals that Shan is a mermaid. Ruolan shows no shock. Instead, she reacts as if confirming a long-held suspicion. The revelation explains the unidentified species detected by their devices. She then reveals that the project's head scientist has been secretly researching mermaid existence. Ruolan excitedly shares the news with the team, who react with enthusiasm. Liu questions why mermaids matter so much. Ruolan explains that their DNA could revolutionize biotechnology and generate unimaginable profit. Liu pushes back, insisting there must be moral limits. Ruolan cuts him off, accusing him of softening because of Shan. She coldly declares that Shan will be captured and turned into meat. She immediately organizes a special task force to go hunt the mermaids. Liu quickly heads to the Green Gulf. The men arrive at the site, which appears deserted. A diver soon discovers the merfolk hiding beneath the water. Ruolan gives the order to open fire. The assault is brutal. Many mermaids are wounded, others captured or killed. The matriarch emerges and, with a single sweep of her tail, sends soldiers flying and floods the ship's interior. She smashes the remaining attackers into the walls before escaping outside. That is when she realizes the sonar has been shut down. She orders an immediate evacuation, and the merfolk swim back into the sea. Shan lingers, once again the last to leave. Shan surfaces with the survivors and is relentlessly pursued toward open water. She evades several attackers but is eventually trapped in a pre-laid net. As soldiers swarm her, Shaq appears. Despite his injuries, he wraps Shan with his remaining tentacles and launches her away before sinking back, exhausted. While swimming away, a harpoon pierces her hip, anchoring her to floating barrels. From a helicopter above, Ruolan fires a missile. The blast throws Shan onto the dock, leaving her critically injured. Elsewhere, Liu is trapped in traffic. Desperate, he abandons his car and runs into Chung, who lends him a jetpack. By the time Liu reaches the docks, Ruolan has already ordered Shan's execution. Liu crashes into the scene and shields Shan with his body. Ruolan, driven by rage and jealousy, fires a harpoon at him. Wounded, Liu lifts Shan and staggers toward the sea. A harpoon strikes his hip, another pierces his shoulder, yet he keeps moving. Barely conscious, Shan begs him to let her go, but he refuses. A third harpoon hits his chest. With his last strength, Liu throws Shan into the sea before collapsing. Police arrive moments later and arrest everyone involved, including Ruolan. Liu is rushed to the hospital with severe injuries. 3 years later, a student arrives at Liu's home to thank him for establishing a scholarship supporting environmental research. The student asks why Liu gave away his entire fortune to protect the environment. Liu smiles and echoes Shan's words. Money means nothing if there is no clean air or water. Curious, the student asks if merfolk are real and whether the story of Liu falling in love with a mermaid is true. Liu simply smiles and denies it. He then introduces the student to his wife Shan, in human disguise. The scene shifts to the open ocean, where Liu and Shan swim freely alongside the surviving merfolk. And that's how a man who believed everything had a price gave up everything for love. Liu didn't just shut down a project. He didn't just lose a business deal. He gave up his empire, his fortune, and nearly his life for someone the world told him wasn't even real. In the end, it wasn't sonar or science that changed him. It was empathy. It was love. It was finally seeing that clean water and clean air matter more than profit margins. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure you hit subscribe for more epic fantasy romances, wild Hong Kong classics, and insane emotional transformations like this. And drop a comment below. Would you give up everything you built for the person you love, even if the world called you crazy? I'll see you in the next story.